want to make it big. Hi, we're live.
We are.
We're back.
And we haven't been live for so long.
I know. 2024, here we come.
Yes, it is 2024, not 2023, isn't it, Angie?
I know. What happened?
Saturday. Angie, we got a bit confused about dates on Saturday.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can we
Angie,
move on?
Yeah.
Everybody does that, though.
They
at the start of the
do.
year.
They do indeed. But it is 2024.
I don't know about my look today.
It's cold.
It's freezing. Look.
But we're
Mittens.
quite warm. And I'm going to put mine back on.
These are socks that I cut off the end. Because I need to have my fingers free.
Me too. Isn't it funny? I wonder why we do that.
I know.
Do you think that's something to do with the fact that we're such tactile people?
I think so. I had to advocate for a small child who wouldn't put their gloves on. And I said, Mum, pick your battles. I don't like wearing gloves.
No,
so maybe they don't either.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And then she just gave up. I think.
Was she okay with it, or did she give you one of those looks?
No, she's cool.
Oh, good. We've just been.
We're in Bridport. Everyone's
That's very
cool,
true.
aren't they?
We've just been dancing this morning, so although it's
that was
cold,
That was good, wasn't it?
I've got that lovely, nice, warm feeling on the inside. Such a good thing to do. Angie does this amazing Friday morning get up and dance. Yeah, and it does make you feel very, very good,
doesn't it?
It does.
But it's everything. It's like being with other women, the sun.
Yeah,
The
it's
fun.
outside and it's music.
Everyone's laughing,
yeah,
smiling.
It was really good fun.
It's just a bit mad too, isn't it?
And it's the first time I've actually made the effort to get out on a Friday morning that early and do it. And
It's
really
11
pleased with
o'clock.
it. And I'm going to do it again.
Good. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. I just want to keep going with it forever. Like, seriously, I would be so happy doing that as a, in my 70s, and then having a cup of tea and then just going home and my studio.
Moving is so good for us, isn't it?
I know.
Just being able to move our body. What does it say?
Move for mind.
Yeah.
It's my T-shirt, which it was too high on the neck, so I just went. Anyway, you can do that. That's why I wanted you to start up a business, because I could take you the T-shirt and say, can you give me a nice neckline on this? Instead of just going ripping it and thinking, it could actually be a cool T-shirt, but I need help. That's bad.
Just cut it.
You say that, but I don't even have sharp scissors. Oh, it's Anna. Just in case you left something here, I'm sorry, guys. This is so rude. Hi, we're podcasting. What are you doing? It's all right. Did you? That didn't even land. So I don't know what you're talking about. Do you want to tell me what you snapped at me about? Oh, yeah. No, that's all right. Yeah. No, that's cool. I should have been a bit more sensitive probably, but, I don't mind triggering people sometimes, Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, darling. It's fine. Okay. See you. Bye. See ya. I love you. See, I will do anything for a laugh, let's face it.
Yeah. Anyway.
And sometimes it doesn't land very well. And if more than one person laughed, I don't care. It's like, I'll take that. One person was offended, but the rest of the room thought it was funny. So too bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you've got to do it. That's the what do you call it? The clown compromise. Is that okay?
You make that instant decision, don't you?
Yeah.
Who's this going to offend? Who's this going to make laugh?
I don't actually think first about the offending thing. But I have offended people in the past massively because I'm very direct, and sometimes,
that directness is really an issue, isn't it? Because I'm a bit like that, and other people just seem to I don't see the point in sugar sweetening something. So if I'm going to say it, I'm just going to say it. And then if people get upset about it, I'm sometimes a bit confused. And someone said to me the other day that's something to do with having a bit of ADHD. I don't know if that.
I don't know.
It's all a bit. Yeah, I think it's just. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I didn't really clock that she was upset. I did think maybe she's stressed. I didn't take it personally. And to be honest, I think I don't take things personally much these days, really. If somebody snaps at me, like the person that yelled out the window when the dog was barking, I mean, fair enough too, maybe. The dog was barking at about 7:30 and someone yelled out really angrily, "Why don't you shut your dog up?" Like, and so, I mean, I did put the dog inside, but I didn't feel like, oh no, I've upset someone and da, which I would have in the past. I would have worried about that. But now I think, now I'm sounding like I don't give a shit about other people.
No, I mean, I think
the dog wasn't barking for long. Can I just say that? A few barks. That was a really over-the-top reaction.
I do say this. Dogs bark. That's how they talk to you. That's how they use language. Dogs will bark. They are dogs. That's what they do. That's how they communicate. But there's a difference between your dog barking a few times to make a point about something, and a dog that's completely out of control barking. They're completely separate things.
Left the dog or anything. Yeah. But anyway,
and again, it's
there's that.
There's more dogs in Bridport than people, so people need to.
Yeah. Anyway, it's all right. But anyway, we just.
Can I move on,
please?
So, as well as doing this lovely get up and dance thing that Angie does, Angie's doing a vision board event next week.
And I think it's the week after.
Sorry, week after.
Yeah.
And I just love vision boarding.
Good.
And I want to share a little story about vision boarding. So when my first marriage ended, I did a big vision board about how I wanted my future to be. And I did it. I like vision boarding. I quite like doing it with other people, actually. I think there's quite a nice energy goes on when you do it in a group.
Oh, I've never done it.
I did it with a friend of mine, and we brought all loads of stuff over, and we sat in my sitting room, and we had quite big boards, actually. I don't tend not to do them in small things.
No, you need a big one. Yeah.
And I made my board, and he made his, and we had a lovely afternoon. And I put this board up in my bedroom. And that was in January of 2010, perhaps.
Yeah.
It would have been January 2010. January 2011. I'm going to get really precise.
Oh, okay.
It was January 2011. And then all that year, lots of lovely things were happening. And I could almost tick them off my vision board.
Really?
It was so funny. And the same thing was happening to my friend. And we were like, my God, this is really, there's something going on here. And then I didn't really think any more of it. And actually, this particular guy, our paths went in different ways for a bit. And I met my husband, my next husband, in the September of that year. And by the following September, we decided to get married. So this guy, who I'd done the vision board with, I invited him to my wedding with his new partner. He'd been single then as well. And he came to the wedding, and I was really lucky. I had a really, really big space where I was living. So we had the after party at my home. And he walked into my bedroom, and he said, "Rebecca, look, you have created absolutely everything you wanted on that vision board within 18 months. Wow. And even the way I'd set the wedding with all the flowers and the books and the way it felt was all completely like looking at this vision board in my bedroom." So, folks, it's powerful stuff.
It is, isn't it?
You need to be very aware that when you're creating a vision board, it's going to happen. It's going to really put some powerful stuff in here that's going to make you go out there and find it.
Be careful what you wish for.
Almost.
I mean, not be careful, but, think about it.
But just allow the magic of that moment when you're choosing those images. And oftentimes when you're doing vision boarding, you're not thinking about the choices you're making. You're just creating something and you're cutting bits out, and you might be chatting if you're doing it with someone else, and you're not really, you're creating this visual plan without you thinking too much about it. And there's something about that meditative process and that flow that you get into as you're doing it that just has an energy of its own. That's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's mega magic. I like that you said 18 months too, because I'm doing my vision board and my whatever. Someone in my head is saying, yeah, this is probably more like 18 months, because we're doing it in Feb, which cosmically is when the new year, new energy starts, and it's just before a full moon, so we can, if you want to go full woo all good. And so I thought, and also I'm going to Australia next Christmas, and there's some things that it's going to take a little bit longer that I put on the vision board, but I need to keep them in my mind. So I've got a question. So when you did your vision board, did you just do it and then sort of put it up in your room and kind of forget about it and not have like
I mean,
the goals written
then
make them, what do you call it? Smart goals.
No, I didn't do any of that stuff.
Small, measurable, achievable, blah, 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 blah. Smart.
Yeah.
Not
timely, realistic. So
smart.
Strategic. Measurable. Achievable. Realistic and timely.
So you're right. How long?
No, I don't do any of that shit. That's way too that's way too strategic for me.
It's a bit boring.
I created, so when I do vision boarding, I make it something that I've almost like a piece of art, really.
It's got to be inspirational.
It's got to be something that you really enjoy looking at. So it was in my bedroom, and I would just look at it every day because it made me smile, because it had lovely colours on it, and it had flowers, and it had books, and it had sunshine, and it was just all that kind of joyous stuff. So just looking at it made me smile. It didn't necessarily have, a strategic, like, I certainly didn't. I mean, there was pictures of people being like having a lovely time and being lovely together, but it wasn't. I wasn't thinking, the red Ferrari. It wasn't like I need a relationship and I need this, and I need that. And it wasn't anything like that. It was just this overall encompassing, lovely idea of a kind of life that I imagined for myself.
Yeah, and also how it feels to inhabit that life. I mean, I feel like definitely I don't set goals so much anymore. Although I do actually in some ways, but it's always about the feeling. It's always about like this is going to feel really like free to me if I can just go off and do a painting residency. It's about how I'm going to feel. I'm going to feel like there's time and it's just for my art, and so it's all that I'm plugging into, even though it's really specific. It's specific now because I know where I'm going, but a couple of weeks ago it was just like, an art residency somewhere. But even me putting that down, just it's like it is magic. So once you don't even have to worry about how you're going to get there. It's just like, I want to do an art residency this year. I've got time off in December and we'll just see. And then I just thought, well, I'll be open, and I left it at that. And then I remembered someone posting about one, which I didn't. Yeah, anyway, so that's all coming about now. I'm going to Morocco.
It's going to be amazing.
I know. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know if I'm going to get picked. But I've just got a feeling in my waters that I am. And I think that belief in your vision board is really important. So I have a belief. I have a really strong belief, but it also is based on experience that I can manifest whatever I, put on my vision board. I don't put stuff that I don't think I can do in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
But
we're saying you're
I
not
don't
using
know.
SMART goals, but I guess, you know, we all.
I don't know about being realistic. It's not really. The thing is, when I said I'm going to have an art exhibition, so that might have been 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe you should do some paintings, Ange. Before I was doing paintings, I knew that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So the timeline was a bit wobbly, and in some ways, I don't really think about time. You've got to be a bit flexy with the time. Just know that it's coming.
Well, I always have this kind of idea.
Hopefully in this life.
Hopefully in this life.
Yeah.
When something comes to me, it's not really down to me. It's down to something else.
Yeah.
So my belief is,
thank you.
When the time is right, that's going to appear.
Yeah.
That time might be right tomorrow, and I might be like, fucking it. Might be like, wow, that happened quick.
Yeah.
Or it might not be for 10 years' time.
Get ready.
But that's nothing to do with me. That's to do with some greater power that knows me better than I know myself.
Yeah. You've got to be ready.
Yeah.
And I just think it just makes me feel alive when I look at my vision board. I've just turned up my aliveness factor times 10 every morning when I look at it. And it doesn't matter how crap I'm feeling. I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, actually there is this thing called life where things happen, really good things, and I can make a choice. And I better be ready because that could happen today. Like I could get the phone call. And I feel like that openness, that readiness, it's almost the number one thing.
Yeah.
It's
I think
almost
that's
like
right there.
Just be ready.
Yeah.
And then you've got this energy of like, okay, I know magic happens. I don't know when. But, you know, if the muse wants to come visit me now, I'm ready. I'll go in the studio, whatever you need. I'll be there to receive it. It's the getting ready to receive. So I feel like that's when the magic happens. That's when the magic happens. So you don't do the vision board. You think, oh, that was a load of rubbish. Chuck it under my bed. Forget about it. You've got to be like, I have the magic here in this space, and I'm going to look at it.
I think that's the thing. If you create a vision board that you just love, that when you look at, and to be fair, it doesn't have to be a board. There has been times when I've done it much smaller scale, and I've created it in a notebook, for instance.
Yeah.
If I've not done something on such a big
I take
scale.
a photo and then put it on my phone.
That's exactly what I do.
We're going to do that.
And as a screensaver on your laptop.
It's awesome.
And it just makes you smile. So you look at it, and these have been choices of images that you've made, and you can't but help feel like,
Yeah.
And so, of course, when you do that, you're raising your vibration.
Yeah, massively.
And when you do that, it's going to have these connections with your brain, and these connections that are going on in your brain are then with our mirror neurons are then going to connect to someone else's mirror neurons, and the whole thing.
We'll be so excited. We'll be beside ourselves. But there was really that thing about you saying you love it. You love your vision board. It's like you have to believe that you can make a life that you love. You know? That's challenging, isn't it, for some people?
It is challenging.
And that requires a bit of freedom. Because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to be stuck in this body till I die.
Well, it also comes down, I think, to a sense of what do we deserve. And I think rather sadly, lots of us walk around with this idea that perhaps shame or fear or undeservedness. And it's horrible. And it's a really hard feeling to shift.
I have it every morning for a few. I have a funny 5 minutes most mornings. Even this morning, and then I'm just like, it's okay. I don't think I'm going to ever be free of that funny 5 minutes. And to be honest, I'm sort of glad of it because that makes me go, okay, I just want to be a channel. I just want to be a channel for peace and love and thanks. Just bring it on. I'm ready. And then, you know, and then I do a few mantras, which could be Hail Marys, or it doesn't really matter what you say, just something that isn't that you're a piece of shit self-talk that overrides that with something. So mantras are good. You might have a mantra for your vision board. So I've got a few say I am enough and all that kind of stuff, which like you said, you've got to be worth it.
Tell you what mine is.
It's going to be so good.
It's not. It's really funny. Someone told again. It's something that someone else told me years and years and years ago when I was going through a really bad time. And she said to me, "You wake up every morning and you say to yourself, I am groovy and great, and that is my state.
I'm groovy and great, and that is my state."
state.
Okay, everybody, repeat after me.
I'm groovy and great, and that is my state. There you go.
Yeah.
You see?
So this whole state of being. So, I mean, I could save everybody here right now the 10,000 to go and see Tony Robbins' conference live. You know, I think it's a lot of money. Anyway, so he's very much, and I agree with him on this, that you've got to get yourself in a good state to be successful, whatever that means. And so for me, it's the music, it's the dancing, it's the candles, it's the aromatherapy, whatever you do to like lift yourself up. Yoga is, you know, your star. I mean, there is no way you could do, you know, 5 salute to the suns to that sun this morning and not feel a state change.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just, this is so good. Yeah. And I love that. I forgot what my point was. State.
Tony Robbins, state changing.
For that rewind. Mantras help you change your state.
Mantras.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
And the putting on of the earrings, I feel a little bit.
Because that's that kind of ritual. So do we have that ritual in the morning that we allow ourselves to have that funny 5 minutes where we've got all those doubts.
And writing.
And then that's
so good.
I have to do that every morning.
We have to talk about this.
We do. I mean, one of the reasons I find it difficult to get anywhere at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is, you know, to get here for 9 for dancing,
that turned up at 9
is that as soon as I wake up, so I have a ritual in the morning, and I have to do half an hour's writing every morning, and that's just what I do. Yeah. And it's that very much. What's her name? Julia Cameron,
artist.
It's very much that
morning pages.
Yeah, and I just have to do my morning pages, and I don't write about anything in particular. It's whatever's in my head, and I just do that for half an hour whilst I'm drinking my cup of tea, and that's it. And then
that's amazing.
I don't even look at it again, but I can't not start my day that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I just do a page in a little diary that I've got, but amazed me this morning. Honestly, I must have taken 3 minutes to write. I mean, absolute whatever. Sorry, my phone is going crazy. Instagram.
What's happening? Have you gone viral, my darling?
No, I don't care. We're doing this now. What was I saying about? Oh, the writing. 3 minutes. Morning pages, the writing. That's a magic. That is magic, man. I wrote. And it was just like, oh my God, I feel so much better. I make myself do it. And I'm like, I don't know, but just like so good.
Before I met Angie, I hadn't written poetry since I was a teenager. And you know, like when you're a teenager, you write pages and pages of poetry. It's just what you do. And then when I met you, I hadn't written poetry in 40 years. And because you do this poetry night, and I thought, I really want to be part of it. I want to be part of this group of wonderful people. So I had started writing poetry. Well, God, since then, bloody hell, I've just written so much poetry. And I've actually been entering poetry competitions.
Unreal banana peel. That's so good.
And it's just like, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this.
It's very exciting. It's
been really exciting for me. And I had no idea. That I liked writing poetry. I had no idea that it was a process I really enjoyed. Yeah. I had no idea that I really like writing poetry in a spoken word way. I love spoken word. I love the opportunities you've given me for reading my words and for doing that spoken word. Really, really changes the way words feel when you actually know you're going to be speaking them.
Yeah.
And so again, you know, that's just come.
I just feel like, I just think once you start reading your poems, you cannot think that my words aren't important. And if your words are important, then what you think is important. And if what you think is important, then what you believe is important. And, you know, and then we can change the world. But it's got to start with what I think, what I say. It matters. It makes a difference. And like getting back to what you said at the beginning, we're not brought up to think that matters. No. Just,
is that fire all right?
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. I'm hogging it. Yeah, just be quiet in the corner. Don't speak. I must have been shushed massively. If someone shushes me now, I get completely triggered.
I got shushed last week.
Did you? By someone, and did it piss you off?
I was so upset. And I just stopped what I was doing and I said,
laughing.
Did you just shush me? And this person went, well, I'm trying to listen to the radio. I said, but honestly, really? You just put your finger to your mouth and shushed me? Well, yes, because I'm trying to listen to the radio.
I mean, having said that, I have worked at a cinema where my job was a shusher. I mean, I was called an usher, but it was really a shusher. And I actually, and there's a whole look I can give people if it's a good film. Can we just?
Yeah, I mean, you know, if we're in a but I was in my own kitchen.
yeah, don't freaking shush.
I'm an adult. Do not shush me.
Yeah.
Just because.
Oh yeah. Well,
so yeah, and but it is very triggering because, like you say, as a child, you were told so often that your opinion was of no interest at all.
Or
just be quiet.
You're a bit loud. I was. And my sister would be constantly saying, "Shut up, Angie, you're embarrassing me," and you know, by what I was saying, and I would get way too excited about things. For me, it's normal, but anyway,
having a voice and being heard,
back to that, what we're saying,
is so vital to understanding who we are. Because how can we, you know, if we keep all these thoughts in our head, and even if we write them down and don't share them with anybody, that's a lovely step. And you've got the thoughts in your head, and then you've written them down, and that helps. But then taking that one step further and speaking that in a space where other people genuinely are listening to you. For me, that's what has been one of the most powerful transformative experiences.
I love it. It's magic. And it is the space between. And that is where we're getting, you know, that's where the magic happens. And when you do that, she speaks, you realise we're not alone. Everybody else has had those massive feelings too. You're part of a whole generation and generations before and generations before that of women who had those experiences, and I feel like there is this sense of gratitude and connection, that an appreciation that somebody is saying that, and just to see women saying that instead of we were just thinking it before, weren't we? So empowering. I love it. Anyway, I feel like we need to finish. Can we finish?
Yes.
We'll put Carol in the sun for 10 minutes.
Otherwise, it's very cold, isn't it?
It sounds actually lovely.
It's gorgeous. Okay.
I think we probably should wrap up here.
That's it. Yeah. So if you want to do the vision boarding, message me.
Okay.
And
got that. Message Ange.
I might do something online too, because some people are going away and they want to do something online. So I'll have a think about how I can do that.
Yeah.
See you next week. You coming next week? Are we going to do it next week? Yeah. Good. Okay. Love yous. Bye. Have we got a sign off thing that we say? No.
Just bye-bye.
Just bye. Bugger off.
Yep.
Okay.
I think we got quite